Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Sunday, June 10th, 2018, and we are joining you live where the price of Bitcoin is falling and falling rapidly. The price of Bitcoin just earlier today was around $7,200 a coin. Then it fell to $7,000 a coin. Now it's fallen to $6,800 a coin, and we are currently looking for a bottom. We are looking for the bottom of Bitcoin. As you can see, there's a possible bend here, but it's far too soon to say that we found any kind of bottom. Remember, the Chris Ellis rule, information has to go around the world 24 hours. Everyone has to wake up and say, "Oh no, I've lost money." And then they have to decide what they're going to do about it. What are you going to do about Bitcoin going down in price? Well, I can tell you one thing, my fundraiser is wrecked. You can still donate to the Mad Bitcoins. Buy a desktop computer fundraiser. It's just that your donations are worth less than they were yesterday. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear eats you. Like it says in the chat, everyone might have to get a job soon. The days might be over. Is this it? Is this the end of Bitcoin? As it breaks to 67.95, breaking through 6,800. We're watching the price on Bitcoin average, which is an average of the various exchanges. Not the prettiest chart, but my Bitcoin wisdom chart just stopped loading. I might need to get some kind of new plugin or something, some kind of issue. Everyone's saying in the chat, they're saying 5,000, 5,000. Bitcoin will bounce off 5,000. But they are panicking. And they say in Soviet Russia, you don't have to find a job. A job will find you. General Byzantium says panic is his job. And remember, the other word for panic is opportunity. And we do have the Skype lines open. Let me go get my headphones. The good thing about having big giant headphones is they're hard to lose. Hard to lose big giant headphones. You won't believe this, but my computer still has a headphone jack. I know. It's unbelievable. What incredible convenience. Okay, now that I've got my headphones, I hope you have gotten your headphones and you're ready to call in now live on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word. We only have about an hour for this show. We have 60 minutes. I was just going to talk to you guys. We're going to talk about the price going down. Everyone is freaking out. They say originally the idea was that this was some kind of South Korean exchange was hacked. This might be people in China or another country waking up to the South Korea exchange hack news, or this could be some kind of weekend jitters. We usually have low volume on the weekend. So low volume with high selling. The Bitcoin price is down 10% if you're just joining us live. Bitcoin price has fallen through 7,000 and 6,900 and currently falling through 6,800 with a last of 67.55. This is an average price amongst all exchanges. And we are live on World Crypto Network, all one word on Skype. They are saying that we have incredibly low volume. I think we're talking about the exchanges because my microphone is working well as far as I know. They say the manipulators are leaving the party. I have heard that there is some kind of a Chicago Mercantile Exchange event tomorrow, that they are reopening futures or some kind of thing. I was looking for the article right before this. I wasn't able to find it. We do have that the US CFTC suspects Bitcoin futures price manipulations and has subpoenaed the exchanges, including Coinbase, Kraken, Itbit, and Bitstamp. As Jeremy Sagarin says in the chat, it is perhaps the Bitcoin sale of the year as it has fallen another $60 while we're speaking, fallen from 67.90 to around 67.30 and feels like it's continuing to fall. Let's see if we can zoom in more here. You can see the start of the fall and then more of the fall. If we look at previous numbers here, it fell to around 74.15, still way too high. Let's see, 74, 70. So we're looking way below that. We have to zoom out quite a lot more to find a previous low of 6,900. This isn't my favorite chart thing, but Bitcoin Wisdom just broke or something. So if you have a suggested chart thing in the side, I'll switch to your chart thing. We are watching the chat live. Let's see if I can get the chat on the big screen. Here we go. And they say there's blood in the streets. It's the Bitcoin sale of the year. Buy, buy, buy. And Matt Smith knows that he shouldn't have sold his mining profits last night. And yes, it would have been great if I had sold some of my donations as well, because I've taken a 5 or 10% hit off of my donation goal. So whereas we were much closer before, we are now much further away. Here's the chat on the big screen. Let's see if we can get some big letters for that big chat. They say the Cobra is preparing to strike. There's incredibly low volume. Are the manipulators leaving the party? And if a caller comes on the show with panic, we have to see if anyone calls us now on Skype, World Crypto Network. Skype to World Crypto Network right now. And we only have an hour for this show, so I will be checking out. We have the Bitcoin News Show coming up at 12 noon, where no doubt they'll be talking about this exciting Bitcoin price action. As we've been talking, the price has bounced from 67.30 to 67.80. This could be the beginning of the bottom, but we do not know. There is a lot of time still left. It is the middle of the day on the Sunday. Let's see. Hearing a call, but I'm not hearing it. Let's see. This could be unfortunate. Oh, here we go. Maybe if I open up this. All right, caller, hold on. We will get the calls working. Seems to be having a Chrome issue on the remote control computer, but we are going to figure it out, and we're going to figure out how to add calls onto the show. Stand by. Other than this, how's your Sunday going? Are you having a nice weekend? I was having a nice weekend too. Raised a little bit of donations, looking at a new computer. Enjoy getting a new computer. It's something I use every day. Now, do I have an echo or do I have a caller? Let's go to the phone lines. Oh, reverse scrolling. And it looks like we have a caller. We're going to go and accept. And remember, on this show, we will call you back. Ah, there it is. The familiar sounds of Skype. Annoying and difficult to figure out how to change, but maybe I can change that in the settings soon. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Thomas, it's Mauricio from Long Beach, California.
Hey, Mauricio. What do you think about this recent price action? Are you having a nice weekend?
I was having a nice weekend until I woke up to your broadcast.
Oh, yeah. It's not a fun thing to wake up to. We're at 68.20. We might be falling below or maybe bouncing back. I don't know.
Tell me about it. I got my friends here. They have no idea what the fuck Bitcoin is. And they're all staring at me like, what the fuck is your problem?
You're like, I lost 5%. I lost 10%. You sound like some kind of stock market phony, right?
Yeah, he's serious. Yeah, they're like, stop playing with your video. Nah, shut up. It's not video game.
Oh, true that. Well, it's probably a good time for them to buy. If everyone is panicking and everyone is
I
freaked out,
can't
and
convince them. They'll spend $50 on Nas balloons a night and they won't buy Bitcoin. Shit.
oh, come on, buy Bitcoin. You could get the whole tank.
Oh, I bought the whole tank last night.
But yeah, they've got to.
One thing that Bitcoin has saved me a lot of money, a lot of wasting money on drugs. I'll tell you that. It's going right to
See,
Bitcoin instead of drugs.
there you go. See, Bitcoin stops drugs. It's another benefit. People at home.
Yep. All right. Well, I just wanted to call in and say thanks for what you do, though.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the call, and just hold on to your Bitcoins there. As long as we've got jobs and a little money saved up, we should be fine. But generally, everyone is freaking out, so we are checking it out live.
That's right. And too bad about the Vegas Knights. They almost had it.
Oh, almost, man. It was a good series. Thanks so much for the call. Looks like we have another call coming in. Hello, caller. You're live on the air. What's your name and what's your thoughts about Bitcoin today?
Hi, my name is Martin. Well, it doesn't look good, and I'm calling from Switzerland, from Zug, from the famous Crypto Valley.
Oh, very cool. Switzerland. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, it's really hot, like really hot. So, well, I'm part of a crypto trading group here, and I think the general sentiment and the predictions are fulfilling. Really, we have thoughts that it will go down to 1800. So it's looking.
Wow, 1800. That's really low. Don't you think a stop at 5,000 or maybe 5,300 might be more likely?
Well, as we discussed the things here, I think we said that 3,000 is the point where when we reach 3,000, the general sentiment and people will kind of give up on Bitcoin. But 4.5, 5,000, we wish it would bounce back. But then people lose trust and confidence in Bitcoin. So that would be great. 4.5, and 5, but really, it's hard to say.
All right. Well, 1800, that's a new low. And then if you think it'll bounce back, where do you think it'll go after that?
Well, me personally, I think it will just trade sideways for a while, and the whole environment of cryptocurrency has to a little bit clear up and wait for the regulations. What comes up in next 2 or 3 months, and then we might see some interesting moves probably. But nobody can say for sure. Somebody says we are in a bull run, and look what happens today. So it's really unpredictable. As we say, the crypto is it's it's just you cannot predict it. So
No, you can't. And
yeah,
if Bitcoin goes down, what's going to happen to the altcoins and Ethereum? Who knows?
who knows? Yeah, exactly. Who knows exactly? And what's your thought on the whole situation? And then you mentioned some news, but do you think it's really affecting that, or?
Well, I think that obviously when something like this happens in the market, somebody knows something that we don't know. And tomorrow's Monday, obviously a big day in the markets. And everyone's thinking that the CME is going to do something. So maybe they thought the CME is going to push it down further. Maybe they're just selling to get their positions ready. But either way, when a large amount of money moves and we have no volume, remember it's Sunday, everyone is sleeping and having a day off. And if you came into this market and sold a lot of Bitcoin, you would wipe out all of the buys. And people are probably still sleeping and they're like, oh, I got my buy, I got my buy. And they haven't had a chance to put in new buys. So when you have a market that's as thin as Bitcoin and new as Bitcoin, a big seller in a low volume period could really move the market, but we could be looking at something different on Monday. I'm not so
Yeah.
sure.
And when you look back, I think we were analyzing the past 8 weeks, maybe to 10 weeks. And when you look every single Sunday around 7 o'clock in Switzerland, which is 7 p.m., there is a huge move. And I think 8 times out of 9, there was a big sell-off. Only 2 weeks ago, I think there was a spike in this time. So definitely at this point, exactly between 6 and 8 p.m. in Switzerland time, Zurich time, there is something happening. Either it's in China or Asia time. Big people are moving a lot of money, as you say, there because they're expecting rest of the world sleeping or not paying attention on Sunday.
Do you think it could be the Mt. Gox trustee maybe still selling those Bitcoin?
Well, it could make a sense, but we don't see any movements from the Mt. Gox wallet. Who knows? How is it tracked? Whether they tumbled it through and from other wallets, so we cannot really track it. But I think Japan could be one of the countries who is selling something, definitely.
It's great we get to get screwed over by Mt. Gox twice now. You get screwed over when they crash, they take everyone's money. Then somehow they end up with a ton of everybody's money, just enough to sell over and over again, depressing the price. ruining the market, but it could be larger forces. We are seeing the price is 67, 63, perhaps still heading down. Do you think we'll see 6,500 today?
It's very likely because I still know some people who are very bullish on shorting Bitcoin, if I can say it that way.
Well, you mess with the bull and sometimes you get the horns, so they got to watch out for that. But thanks so much for your call. Give us a call
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah, great show. Always looking forward for the next episode and live show. So really, thanks for everything you're doing, and let's stick together and hope for the best with our
Thanks so much.
uh,
Stick together. And
main.
remember, we got Bitcoin news coming up next with the Vortex. And you can give us a call right now on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word. We only have about 30, 40 minutes left in the show. We are going to end in time for Bitcoin news, which no doubt will mention this exciting price action on the show. And we'll be talking about this probably all next week. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Chuck Charles from Canada.
Hey, Chuck. How's it going? What are your thoughts on today's Bitcoin price action?
Well, I'm not afraid of it. I got in 2015, so I'm actually quite comfortable at the moment. But I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
Do you think that there's a threshold where Bitcoin can fall to where the altcoins will suddenly lose viability?
I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of pain in the altcoins as there's a lot of pain in Bitcoin. If we go down, like it seems we're still going down, there will be pain. But I don't know about viability because I'm not sure what they do or what they're used for. I guess that their fees would get lower if their fees are denominated in Bitcoin or denominated in Ethereum or whatever. You would pay lower fees if Ethereum was cheaper. I'd like to thank Vention MD Tao for supporting the show, $10 donation, and We Smoke Bitcoins, who says smoke weed. So thanks so much. And yeah, is there a point where the altcoins? I still think a lot of people this time and all the other times, they're just betting on a comeback. I think we've seen too many crazy things happen. Ripple used to be fractions of a penny, now it's $1. These things keep happening, and there's still going to be somebody out there buying it. Somebody that's betting on it, that's saying, "Yeah, I'm buying a loser. I'm buying a dog, but this dog's going to go up." So there's definitely somebody looking for the bottom. If Bitcoin went, I mean, they're saying this. They love to say this 1,200, 1,600 low number because of the charts. But if we did go that low, I think the fear is we'd fall to 300, and that from there we'd fall back to 100, back to 30, back to 15, 10, $1, and then we'd really see some Bitcoin action. We'd really see what people are made of, and at that point, the altcoins would be pennies and fractions of a penny. But if you can still use them, if you can still run your smart contracts, I think they're still as viable as they'll be. But generally, what's good for Bitcoin is good for altcoins. What's bad for Bitcoin is bad for altcoins. I think the whole industry hangs together with Bitcoin, and if it goes down, they're going to go down too. What do you think?
I noticed that every time Bitcoin takes a dive like this, the Bitcoin dominance actually goes up. The other altcoins actually fall at a higher rate than Bitcoin does. So I'm wondering if maybe there's a point at which all money or most of the money will escape. But you're saying that altcoins will always be with us no matter what?
I'm afraid so, and maybe it won't be the same altcoins. We used to have Mega Coin and Terra Coin and Feather Coin, a lot of other coins that aren't with us or a fraction of their former selves. Um, but there always seems to be, basically, it comes down to this idea that if you heard about Bitcoin early, you would have been super rich. And if I heard about Bitcoin, so they're always looking for the next Bitcoin. And if you'd heard about Ethereum early, as it turned out, if you bought any, and if you held them and you didn't sell and all that, you would be super rich. So as long as those stories keep getting out there, whatever the new altcoin is, people think it's the new Bitcoin, and they want to be super rich. So I think this keeps happening until, like JW Weatherman's been saying, until all of this money, this dumb money, is driven out of the market. And the sad way is that dumb money has to be taken advantage of to be driven out of the market for real, to really get rid of it. and that means people have to invest in scams like BitConnect and Paycoin and all these other coins, OneCoin, so many of these things. But for every one of those, there's another thing that looks like a scam, like Ethereum, that actually goes up like crazy. And so as long as that keeps happening, there'll still be the interest, I think.
I imagine that it'll drive up education, if nothing else.
You'd hope so. And there's a nice chart going around on Twitter. People are talking about the various stages of accepting Bitcoin and how, you have to dismiss it. You have to think Bitcoin's a total scam. Then you come back, then you get into alts, then alts go badly, and then you come back to Bitcoin and you're like, wow, that Bitcoin's a really good idea. And maybe I don't have a lot of them, or maybe I can't get a lot of them. But if I work and if I save, I'll still have some, and I get to hold my value there, unlike other things. So we'll
You know
see.
anything about DAS coin? DAS coin.
DAX?
DAS
No, I don't.
in sound. DAS
No,
like
DAS.
1530 something on the list. DAS coin. DAS coin.
As it is now, it's just a great homophone with dash, right? It sounds the same as dash, and it's like I said someone should name their coin like there's even one now called Ethereum. It's Ethereum with a B in front of it, and I thought you could name it Ethereum, like Ethereum with an E in front of it. So it just sounds like a sound alike. I don't know anything about it technically, or if it's a good project or anything. There are a lot of new coins. So.
Yeah, I've scanned the website. I don't see anywhere where the network is secured or just how it's a pre-launch 900 million coins or something.
I don't know. We're so far into the ICO rabbit hole. I've looked at so many marketing websites. It's hard to get any kind of knowledge from any of them. But then again, these crazy things go up. A friend of mine puts like $100 into every new coin, and he's doing really well. It's a simple strategy, and other people might fault it, and who knows if it's going to work forever. But $100 into every new coin, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. It might be worth the risk. So if he can spare $100, I don't see why not.
There you go. You could always start with 10 or anything else. And that's what's great about a cryptocurrency is you can do the percentage-based fees. So you can actually invest and move your stocks around at the lower levels and make a decision. Like today, if you want to make the decision to stay in or make the decision to get out or just wait and see, it might turn around next couple of days.
Okay, thanks, Thomas.
Thanks so much for the call. Give us a call anytime. And if you'd like to give us a call, you can call us now on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word. Let's see. Skype interface is kind of bugging, but we'll see if I can get through it. We're using the remote desktop connection again today. But we are tracking the price of Bitcoin, which is currently $6,739, down from around 7,000 just earlier today. And there are major news happening with the CME. There's market news happening tomorrow. They're doing some kind of thing. Here we go. We got another call. Okay, the interface. Caller, you're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Bernie. I'm calling from Australia. How you going?
All right, from Australia. What do you think about the Bitcoin news? Are you just waking up to this, or is it late night there?
Yeah, look, I got the alarm bell on when it hit high 6,900, so it woke me up. So I'm basically, it's about probably 4 a.m. around here. So I got the nasty news, but reality is, I think if you look at the things in the last 6 months and what's going on is like, look at the ICO market, what's going on, and look at all the what I call the ex-bankers that are starting to get into crypto. I think a lot of the funds are being heavily manipulated at the moment.
It does seem likely. We've had this major article. The CFTC is looking into Bitcoin price manipulation, and they're worried that when they launch these CME Bitcoin futures, everyone said, gosh, a Bitcoin future, that's an easy bet. I'll bet on it going up. So what did these people do but go around, buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and then coordinate the sells, causing the price of Bitcoin to go down, thus taking all the money from all the suckers that thought it was going to go up.
It's pretty obvious anyway. Even if you look at the ICOs, I mean, most of them are scams. But if you look at all the what do you call the ex-elite bankers, they're starting to get into this huge market. These things don't get unnoticed. Certainly, I mean, there's an ICO going on called Phantom, which is a lot of the strategic investors they've got there are practically ex-bankers. And you look at these ICOs now that 95% of them are 95% of it is going through private sales. And a lot of these funds are, I mean, there's a lot of money going through, and a lot of these funds are basically ex-bankers. They're investment bankers that do on the crypto. So
I think that the bankers have no choice. They have to pay attention to this industry, and they have to put their money here. This is where the money's being made. If someone said to you, "Oh, you know, my stock portfolio made 500% this year, or 5,000%," they would stop what they're doing and want to know what stocks you were holding. And if
I
it turns out you were holding
I
Bitcoin
think
and
a
you
lot of
bought them on your own and a broker didn't tell you to buy them, there's something wrong with the brokers.
well, if you look at Australia's perspective, there's a few ex-senior bankers that have resigned. Like, if you look at the Commonwealth Bank of Australia, which is the biggest bank in Australia, the CFO with a $3 million a year wage has moved to EOS. He's resigned, moved to Hong Kong, and taken a job there. And you got a few ex-ANZ bankers who are now have their own digital asset fund and who are very strategically involved with this Phantom ICO. And this will continue. I think this will continue on. And you see on Bloomberg a couple of days ago, one of the big billionaires talking about it. So I wouldn't listen to them. So it's just funny that all this, since they've been involved, things have been dropping.
It's certainly been a lot of issues in the major launch of EOS. A lot of bankers and other people are investing in ICOs and these new opportunities, such as they are.
Yeah, and I truly believe that they've got the best interest of pushing price down as well.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your call. We're having some trouble hearing for you, so we're going to let you go for right now. But give us a call anytime. You can call us at World Crypto Network on Skype, all one word. We have just a little bit of time left before the Bitcoin News Show. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. And if you haven't already, subscribe down below. Hit that bell to get the notifications. And we're talking about Bitcoin. We're talking about the price of Bitcoin, which just right now is 6,668. That's down quite a lot, about $200 down since we started this show. I guess it was a mistake not to sell before the show. Oops. We're still accepting Bitcoin donations from my desktop computer. But we've probably lost, we went from around $800 down to $767. So if you would like to donate to our downward trending fund drive, we're going to need somebody's going to have to come through and buy the fundraiser, and then we'll sell. But otherwise, we're in trouble on that fund drive. Here we go. We're saying they've still got EOS. They've got the bags. They say Bitcoin's going to $30. They're blaming everything on EOS. That's what we should do. There's been 7,000 Bitcoin volume in the last hour on Bitfinex. So once again, if a whale came in, there was low volume. The whale made a big sell. Everyone else is freaking out now. They're going to follow that volume, and there's maybe even more big sells. People are freaking out a little bit. It is 6,668. We are looking at an average. We're looking at Bitcoin average, which is an average of all the exchanges. We've seen a downtrend and another downtrend. It's starting to look like 7,600. We were at a steady level there for a couple of weeks. That looked pretty good. Hopeful hands in the chat are saying that the volume spike is over and that the price will stabilize. People say the bottom is 5K, and we are still worried that this could be more dropping from the Mt. Gox trustee. Who would sell on Sunday? The Mount Gox trustee would sell on Sunday. You thought you were going to take a day off. No, I don't think so. No days off. No days off in Bitcoin. We still have the chat lines open, although my remote desktop connection is bouncing up and down for unknown reasons. It says reconnecting. But you can call us now at Skype, World Crypto Network, all one word. And if my remote desktop connection works, I will answer the call. They're saying 5,000 in the chat, maybe 5,200. They're worried it'll go below 5,000. And people will give up on their Bitcoin, give up on their inventions. Oh, we finally figured out it's Joe Rockhead's fault. He bought some last week. Every time he buys, the price drops. And just yesterday, I was talking to people about holding and about whether or not they should hold. And I thought we were doing pretty good. I thought we'd see more 8,200 than this 6,660. But who knows? People say we might bottom out at 5K. I say it might bounce at 6,500. We don't know. We are just watching the charts like everyone else. And remember, the charts only show us the past. They don't predict the future. And we are running out of calls. Let's see. Is the Skype client working? Seems like Skype is working again, so we can take your calls if you Skype us at World Crypto Network, all one word. And Jeremy Sager is absolutely right. It is a conspiracy to stop Mad from getting a new computer or to destroy his credit card when he buys it anyway. Yeah, you can help pay my credit card bill in my ever declining fundraiser. We are fundraising the opposite direction. Oh, no, there we go, 772. The fundraiser has gone up a little bit. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Kyle from Vancouver, Canada.
Hey, Kyle. What's on your thoughts about Bitcoin today as we hit 666 and 8?
Well, it's terrible, but what I've noticed over the last while in Canada, I don't know if people have been paying attention, but the banks, a lot of the banks in Canada, BMO, RBC, major banks, they've been cutting off Interact online transfers.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if that's happening in the States as well. So
I've seen
before,
some people have had problems with their bank accounts.
transfer.
So now people won't be able to buy Bitcoin, is what you're saying? Buy or sell?
If you follow the news since January, a lot of the major banks stopped their credit card purchases, and slowly they've been cutting off Interact transfers to Quadriga CX. TD, for instance, last month they shut off they shut off transfers as well. I don't know if that's happening in the States as well. What's your feeling?
They definitely cut off the credit card transfers. That was a very risky thing. If you had done a credit card advance on 10K on Bitcoin right now, and you're looking at 6,600, that's a rough credit card advance. So I think the banks just wanted to protect people from that. And also, they probably think they won't get paid back, which is a decent
right.
bet.
Credit cards make sense, but Interact online, it's like, that's my cash. Like, what? I don't really see the actual merit there, but I think that they've been kind of coordinating together, and they've been silently cutting it off. TD, RBC, BMO. I don't know if that's happening in the US as well, but you do see the volume constantly dropping in the charts over the last number of months. I wonder if there's any relationship there, if there's any of that going on in the US or other countries where banks are just slowly trying to prevent people from buying directly through the exchange, and they have to go an alternative route like local Bitcoins.
Well, I think that there's definitely a part of it where the banks want to stop Bitcoin and they don't want Bitcoin to succeed. But there's probably another part of it where they're worried about a large scale class action lawsuit. It goes a little something like, you let us invest in Bitcoin. We're really angry now and we want our money back. And Bitcoin's worth pennies. So the bank is, again, probably just covering their butts. In the US, I always suggest people try credit unions instead of large banks. It's obvious that Bank of America, large things like this, you're going to have trouble with your bank account. But if you go to a credit union, they're kind of just happy to have you, and they're not so much worried about what you're doing with your money in your account. So.
Right. Credit unions probably the option for Canada as well. But anyway, I just noticed the relationship. Like, it started in January. It's been slowly happening over time, and we've been moving through the downtrend. So I don't know if there's any relationship at all, but definitely the volume's been dropping continuously. So
it just means you're going to have to sell it to your friends for cash and go to local Bitcoins, and we'll have to branch out our outreach, right?
Makes it more difficult. That's the ease of access. I think there's got to be a relationship. But anyhow,
Certainly.
all right.
Thanks so much for the call. It might be harder to get Bitcoin now, but certainly we've never been more excited about the technology. The technology behind Bitcoin continues to be astounding, continues to have fantastic uptime. They had that thing in England recently. Visa stopped working. You can X that off the Visa uptime. Bitcoin now has more consecutive uptime than Visa. Good luck breaking that one. And the Lightning Network is coming on, layer 2, side chains. Things are happening. Price-wise, we're getting wrecked. But technology-wise, things are good. So I'm going to try to get back to the chart here and see what's going on in the chat. We still have about 20, 30 minutes before the Vortex and the Bitcoin news show. So we have around 360 live viewers. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe if it's your first time here. And I hope to see the same 350 live viewers during the Vortex show. I'll be there with you in the chat, probably enjoying some lunch. I should order some lunch right now. Do you guys like Postmates? I'm into Postmates. But you can give us a call now and let us know, are you one of the strong holders? Are you looking at 6,600 saying, I don't care at all? Or are you looking at 6,600 saying, oh, I wish I'd paid for that computer in Bitcoin. Why did I charge it? Why do I charge everything? But yeah, that's how it is, Bitcoin. It teaches you to save, but then it also wrecks you sometimes. So it's a tough ride, but we got to keep riding it. What else are we going to do? And again, it is still 21 million units. You have one Bitcoin. You still have one Bitcoin. Might just be a little bit more painful. So I'm trying to add people as a contact on Skype. We still have time for maybe 1 or 2 more callers. So if you can go ahead and give us a call right now. Got to get chicken pot stickers. That's a must. But maybe if I order it, it'll be here by the time the show ends. But go ahead. Let's give this caller a call back. World Crypto Network. It's the show that calls you. But go ahead. Let's give this caller a call back. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. You might need headphones. Oh, he's not ready. Well, there you go. Sometimes you get a caller. Sometimes you don't. But let's take a look at the donations. You can still donate. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Thomas. This is Wouter. I'm calling from Lule in Portugal.
All right, Wouter from Portugal. What's your thoughts on the Bitcoin decline? How are we doing today?
Actually, I just I didn't watch the price, but then I saw on my phone. I saw your message, the video that said it went down to 6,600 or 6,900 at the time.
Yep, 66 now. I hate to be the harbinger of bad news.
Yeah, well, no, I kind of expected it a little bit. I think we have to shake out some more weak hands before we get to a point where we can start thinking going up again.
Yeah, if you got your Bitcoin maybe in the $1,000 level, you're still up 6 times. You're still feeling pretty good. But I do feel bad for people like I know JW Weatherman. He's mentioned a few times he bought the top at 18,000. You've lost
Really?
2/3 of your money right now. This is not a very fun ride anymore, is it?
No. JW Weatherman bought at 18,000.
I'm not being critical or talking outside of school here, but he's a holder, and he bought at a very high level. It all depends when you get the Bitcoin virus. You know, when Bitcoin enters your head, if it attaches right away, or if you have to wait a
Yes,
few years or whatever it is, and you know everyone gets it at their own time. And I think he had a rough ride there from 1818. It's
probably.
tough.
Yes, yes. But for me, it was the same. I bought at a point that was it was going up very fast. Everybody said when I came in touch with Bitcoin, it went up very fast, and everybody said, no, this is too fast. We're gonna get a correction, but I couldn't help myself. I had to buy. So
Well, it's
yes,
you just have to. I mean, I don't even recently I had some money put aside to live on, and the price started to go back up, and oh, I got trapped in this thing with the rest of you. So you know, it's hard to be a good trader. It's hard to make the right decisions, especially with money, and we all want to make more of it, but it's looking like today we're making less of it. So
no, I don't. I think what I think is what I hear Tone say also is that after 2013 14 the high peak of 1100,
mhm.
it lasted a long time before it got to the low of, I think, 155. We went back from 1100 to 155 was the low after that.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Took a very very long time. And I think what's good now is that it goes faster. It looks like we're going to shake out the weekends faster than in 2013.
It does seem. I remember we went to 5,000 already from this dip when we were around 20K. We went down to 5K, and then we bounced back up to 15 or something that seems absolutely dreamy now. But who knows? Who knows where it's going to go?
Yeah, yeah. It's a wild horse. Huh?
Yep, yep. And it's always going to be this way, and nobody knows.
Yes, yeah. I think maybe in 10 years, not so much anymore, but for the coming years, it will be very wild. Yes.
Just
So
have to have a
you don't,
longer
you
timeline. You
cannot
just need
stand
to
it.
wait longer.
You have to get out
All
and
right. Well,
to the real,
thanks so much.
leave it to real cowboys.
Only the real cowboys. Well, we'll see soon who has the strong hands. Thanks so much for the call. Give us a call anytime.
See you again, Thomas. Ciao.
Ciao. All right. And you can give us a call on World Crypto Network, all one word on Skype. I have to add you as a friend, but I'll add you, and then you can give us a call right now. They're saying in the chat, the good news is that Bcash is down to 0.144. Well, as long as there's good news. But you know, we've seen it with they're saying in the chat, we've seen this price cycle before. It's all about dollar cost averaging. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
How you doing? I'm Michael.
Hey, Michael. What do you think about this exciting Bitcoin price action?
I think it's it's par for the course. I think it's healthy. I got, by the way, you're echoing here, so I'm trying to figure out
I'm echoing
myself. Unfortunately, are you playing back in the headphones, my friend?
It's possible. Go ahead. I'll mute myself.
Yeah, I just hear myself. I hear you come. I hear myself coming from. Thanks. No, I think it's par for the course, and I think there's always something good about the price dropping. If we can keep the plebs buying, we keep the banks out. By the way, it's real hard for me to talk right now because of the echo. I'm not sure where it's coming from. Sorry.
All right. No, well, no worries, man. We'll have to keep it going, and it's tough to keep people buying when the price is going down. I think a lot of people are going to be depressed by this news. It's tough to keep them going. But it is, like they say, it's a good chance to donate to the World Crypto Network and to donate to my moving up and moving down fundraiser. And it is a good chance to donate to your own fundraiser and your own savings. If you do have a long-term savings of Bitcoin, this might be a good chance to get a couple 0.1s or 0.01s. You don't know. We are saying in the chat, people think maybe 6,500 could have been the bottom. We are seeing it return now to 6,700, a last of 6,712. But you know, if you are very depressed, remember, everyone still loves you. All your friends still love you. Everything is going to be okay. If you need help, do call a suicide helpline. There are people there to talk to you. It's a sad time. A lot of celebrities are kicking off, but that's not for us. We're the strong hands who are going to get through this. We've already seen it bounce about $40 just as we've been talking here. But yeah, sorry about the echo, caller. We can't seem to hear you. Maybe check on your end. I'm not sure it's echoing on my end, because otherwise they'd let me know in the chat. But we are getting ready for the Bitcoin news show. I've ordered my lunch. Have you ordered yours? Gabriel Wintermute in the chat says he just bought the dip. And that is true. If you have cash and you're waiting on the sidelines, waiting to buy a dip, this is certainly a dip. Many of us think it's going back up, but then again, people think it's going down too. So you have to make your own decision. Maybe go 90-10, go 50-50, go 70-30. Put a different amount in. Don't go all in, because then it's hard to maneuver. You can't do anything else. But we do still have the Skype lines open. We have time for maybe one more call. If you give us a call now at World Crypto Network, all one word on Skype, it's good to have some headphones ready and to mute your speaker or to pause the video, because the video will repeat what we're saying. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. And see maybe if we can find a nice note to end this on, as we seem to be approaching the end. Bitcoin is bouncing a little bit off of 66.60. It is in the 67.12 range. And we have another call. Oh, Skype interface is moving around. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
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 And go ahead. We can hear you.
I'm calling from the UK.
All right. What's your thoughts on the Bitcoin price movement today?
I just think that buying every Friday. I don't mind it, because I buy a little bit every Friday, so that I think that's the best way to make it work. You know, every single Friday I buy a little bit, and I have done for 18 months, and whatever the price does, I just think it's okay. A little bit into Bitcoin means a little bit less for the banks.
There you go. And if you're dollar cost averaging like you're doing, you're buying, $10 a week, $100 a week. That just means this week you get a little bit more Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's worked for me so far. So even with a big crash, I'm still in, and I haven't been at it for a long time. But just whatever the price, every Friday I buy a little bit, not very much. I don't sell, no intention to sell. I'd rather have the money in Bitcoin than in the banks. So that's my plan, and so I don't mind if it goes down. It'll be better for me next Friday.
There you go. Well, that's a good attitude, and it's good you don't have too much over invested into Bitcoin. A lot of people have too much over invested, and we've lost our shirts today. It's a disaster.
I know, and I get that, and I've told lots of people to get into it, and they're obviously underwater, those ones. But I just keep on saying, it's about what we're trying to do here. We're trying to change the world. Surely, it's not just about making money. It's getting away from the banks. Trying to get some control back into the hands of the people. So that costs money. It costs blood in a way. So you just have to push forward with it. It's going to be fine. There's no worries about Bitcoin going where it's going to go. It is going to go there. But we just have to be hodl on, and it's going to be okay.
There we go. It's going to be fine. That's why we turn this show on. I was editing my book. I was totally ignoring this thing. It went 69. It went 68. I was like, what is going on? And I just want to talk to people and maybe talk them down. But at the same time, if you're over invested, if you have too much at risk, we've only taken a 5-10% hit here. If you can't handle another 5 or 10%, you might want to go 50-50. You might want to go 70-30. It's never a bad thing to have a little bit of fiat saved up for next month's rent. So,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I haven't spent every single penny on it, but I used to be into gold and silver. I used to, I thought that was the way forward. With Max Kaiser, when people say, "Come on, let's crash JP Morgan and buy silver and gold," which I did, but again, it didn't pan out because of the manipulation. So I spent many years saying that Bitcoin was a load of nonsense.
It's a beautiful and wonderful romantic idea of sound money and silver and gold, and you can pretend to be a pirate and have doubloons and all that. But when it really comes down to it, you look at your money and it's on a shelf and it's heavy, and at the same time, it's not heavy enough where someone couldn't just come in and grab it.
No, that's right. No,
it's not very good money.
Yeah, no, exactly right. I mean, cryptocurrency is the way the world's going to go. I can't see that it's not. And yeah, there are technicalities in the way of it, in a way, but I mean, it's still really early days. So, I don't like the fact that the ETFs and all that stuff. I don't. It doesn't make me feel very comfortable because that's what happened in gold and silver. But it's happening, and we'll fight through it. More adoption, of course. If more people, if the price goes really low, more people will buy in, surely. So that's a good thing as well, I think.
They're definitely trying to bring all of the wonders of finance to Bitcoin. The ETFs, maybe some CDOs. Maybe we'll get some loans in boxes and have our own financial crisis here on the Bitcoin chain. But remember, it's always these things they attach to Bitcoin that collapse. It will be the ETF. It won't be Bitcoin. It'll be the exchange. It won't be Bitcoin.
That's right.
Yeah, it's always, and they always get excited. Bitcoin's like this South Korea thing. If I don't know what's causing this downturn. If it is this South Korean Bitcoin exchange being hacked, once again, it's an exchange. You shouldn't have your money in an exchange. If you lost your money, it's unfortunate, but you're kind of stupid with it. You took your chances, and we all do that. But yours didn't pan out. The South Korean exchange is gone or whatever. So, but yeah, it's always something attached to Bitcoin. It's never actually Bitcoin.
No, that's exactly right. And from that, surely people might learn and go, okay, I lost. I should never have done that. But it doesn't mean it's a bad bet. It's just a learning. It's all about learning, and we're all kind of learning at the moment because we've never been here before. There's never in the history of man, never has a currency been developed for the people by the people. It's never happened before. So yeah, it's bound to be volatile and strange and wonderful.
That's very true. Very good. Thanks so much for the call. Give us a call anytime.
Thank you. Thanks for the show.
Thank you. And you can give us a call. We have maybe time for one more caller. We are coming up on the Bitcoin News Show happening at 12 noon. They're saying in the chat that 6,500 will never be the bottom. The bottom must be 1.2 to 1.5 thousand because they have a crystal ball and have seen the future. But the problem is, when we hit that 1.2 to 1.5 thousand bottom, we're going to 300. We're going to 100. We're going to 10. You don't know where the bottom is. Nobody knows where the bottom is. I mean, this is like, it's great. I wish we did. And it's one thing to say like a fulfilling prophecy that, Carthago delenda est, we must destroy Carthage. But just because you say it doesn't mean it's happening. And people have been saying Bitcoin's going up for years, and it did go up. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Thomas. My name is Matt. I'm calling from the northern side of you in Oregon. How are you?
All right. Matt in Oregon. What are your thoughts today on the Bitcoin price action?
Just a quick disclaimer. I am a bear, and I have been for some time, especially since the Carlos Matos fiasco and the altcoin mania that is really quite unbelievable still.
It was pretty exciting. Ripple was $3 a coin.
Yeah, and I'm not I'm not as crazy as some of these people getting into ICOs and and ERC20 tokens. I'm one of the Bitcoin maximalists or maximalishes. So I think this is really, really healthy. I think we need to go down a lot farther even than this in order to start squeezing out some of the alts that are dangerous, in my opinion.
Do you think that the alts will really get squeezed out? I've seen it go down before, and then it all comes back up. I remember Ethereum going down to $8 once, and I said, "Oh, well, maybe that's where it should be, and that's how much gas should cost." And boy, was I wrong! It went back to 1,000. So who knows?
Right. Well, the difference this time is that the government is finally getting its hands into the space, and it's hard to say what exactly will happen, but I think with the SEC trying to define exactly what a security is and how it relates to their relationship with Bitcoin, we're going to see some very interesting developments in the news as the price continues down.
Well, dark news from a bear, but what do we expect? So, have you put your money on this? Are you shorting Bitcoin?
I am. I'm a really bad noob trader, but I've been practicing on BitMEX for some time now. I am short, but not a whole lot. It's just for fun.
Oh, just for fun. Okay. Well, if we can get the next caller to put their house on a short, then we'll really have something, right?
Yes, yeah. I don't like shorting Bitcoin. I am a Bitcoin believer, but
Sure.
I see the long term. I'm very interested in macroeconomic events, and I think this is going to take several years for us to develop what Bitcoin truly is.
Excellent. Well, it is. It's hard to believe that we're this low now, and it was hard to believe that we were that high before. So, um,
Yeah.
but thanks so much for the call, and give us a call anytime.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Thomas. Big fan of your show. You're the man. Mad Bitcoins.
Thanks, man. Yeah, my donation drive, everyone's shorting it today. We have another call coming in. That's why. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Fuck me.
All right. So we kind of had our first prank call, I guess. I don't think it was very good. I think you could do better. But that was fun. And other people are adding me on Skype now, and I'm adding them. And then we'll look about getting rid of that guy. But he was fun though. Maybe he bought some Bitcoin. My new computer fund, it's looking pretty bad. Oh, we got a new donation, 0.000666 Bitcoin. It's a themed donation. And we are at 0.11 Bitcoin towards our goal of 0.36. So we were about a third of the way there. But the problem is, I think we'd have to raise the goal now because Bitcoin went down a little. But that's okay. It's still fun to have a fundraiser, and I appreciate everyone that donated. And I'll just keep writing it out on my credit card. So trying to call the bottom here. Obviously, 6,600 was the bottom. You missed it, and now it's at 6762. But probably hitting towards the end of this show. We do have the Vortex coming up at noon with the Bitcoin News Show. He's got some guests. They're going to talk about HODL. HODL. I've heard it's a decentralized exchange. That sounds very cool. And yeah, donate more in super chat so I don't have to sell my Bitcoin. That would be nice. And yeah, that's how it is. But you know, sometimes you run a fundraiser and sometimes you run a inverse fundraiser. We're going the other way. But just a quick reading first from Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willnick. And this is just for those of you who are sad at the bottom. It's called, this section is called Draw Fire. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. I don't know why. Life is not fair. That is the reality. Disease and accidents don't care if their victim is a good person. They have no reason, no justification, and no mercy. Even the best person you know can end up in the clutches of evil, and you cannot stop it. So, what do? Are you going to get angry, frustrated? Are you going to lash out at people? Who are you going to lash out at? Are you going to start going down the spiral of negativity? Are you going to let the horrible situation dictate the way you feel and the way you handle it? Are you going to fall over, fall down, fall apart? Or are you going to lead? Are you going to face this situation with courage and with resolution? I say lead. Step up. Be the one people look to. Absorb the impact and the negativity. Draw fire. Yes, draw fire. That's when a member of a platoon, for tactical reasons, steps into the open to draw enemy fire. Maybe to give another part of the team a chance to move. Maybe to distract the enemy. Maybe to help the platoon locate the enemy. But that's what I say. Draw fire. Bring that pain to me. I can handle it when others cannot. When bad things are happening, I will be the one good thing, standing tall that can be relied upon. I will bolster those around me, and the positive attitude will spread, and we will fight. And in fighting, we will win. If not the battle and if not the war, we will win because our spirit will never surrender. And that is the ultimate victory. To hold your head high, and even in the face of inescapable defeat, to stand and fight. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for the super chat. And check out the Vortex and the Bitcoin news right here. Subscribe down below. Hope to see you guys in the chat. My food should be here shortly. Bye-bye.